Modern Day and Sci-fi, upcoming 2023 Chinese drama. Road Home. In the drama Road Home, former lovers who had been apart for 10 years meet up again in search of their way home. Our two lovers are Liu Yanchen, a police officer specializing in explosive ordnance disposal, and Gi Hao, an investment director. Gi Hao's family underwent significant changes after Liu Yanchen left to enroll in the police academy. Their previous romantic connection ends suddenly, after 8 years, when they finally cross paths again. The line "I'll recognize you even when you turn into ashes" causes them to acknowledge how much they still miss one another. 2 years later, in a snowy border town, Gi Hao and her friend are stranded. In desperation, Gi Hao dials Liu Yanchen's number. To a windy place. The series centers on the life of Zhu Hongdu, who had a downturn following the passing of her best friend. In order to relax alone, she went to the windy courtyard in Yunmiao village, Dali. There she meets Zi Yao, a local who quit his high-paying job and returned to his hometown to start a business, and a group of peers from big cities. Zi Yao begins to recognize the earnestness and kindness of Zhu Hongdu. He asks her to use her years of hotel industry experience to train local staff members to provide better customer service and advance the cultural tourism industry in Yunmiao village. At the same time, Zi Yao's dreams for creating a hometown that would enable the villagers to be powerful and useful move Zhu Hongdu, finally getting together after falling in love with one another. Together, they looked back on their pasts, supported and encouraged one another, began to heal, and gained the fortitude to start over in this windy area. The love you give me. Su Tian wanted to see Shin Qi more than anything, while Min Hui wanted to destroy herself, yet none of their wishes came true. These two girls, who had never met, are still linked in some way. Su Tian decides to give her life in order to save Min Hui, even though Min Hui was silent. Su Tian can read Min Hui's mind even when she isn't speaking. Min Hui chooses to have Su Tian meet Shin Qi rather than herself in an effort to atone for the sadness in her heart. Su Tian and Min Hui unintentionally enter an uneasy relationship. Min Hui decides to fulfill Su Tian's wish no matter what the cost, even if it comes at the cost of her brand new life. The Furthest Distance. The C-drama The Furthest Distance centers on Su Ying, a determined interior designer, and Qin Yunsheng, an emergency physician with a home that needs work. They get together as a result of their involvement in a reality TV show about home renovation. Su Ying eventually lets Qin Yunsheng into her previously locked heart as they get to know one another, only to learn that he still misses his dead girlfriend. Su Ying decides to stand up for Qin Yunsheng with a love that just could be powerful enough to heal them both in an effort to bridge the seemingly greatest gap between them. Hulang. Sun Tu, an orphan in her 20s, is the protagonist of the C-drama. She eventually runs into problems while standing up for justice. A professor from the University of Chinese Medicine named Ren Xinzeng helps her and finds out about her past. She is admitted by Professor Ren into the traditional Chinese medicine program in order to start again in life. Sun Tu embraces the challenge to study with Ren Xinzeng and ultimately succeeds in inheriting his family's TCM business. Tian Zhen, a classmate of Professor Ren's, is someone she doesn't like since he makes things tough for her. Even without the additional generational divide between students and professors, the pursuit of knowledge is difficult enough. She perseveres as she ages and comes to appreciate conventional medicine as they get to understand and relate to one another. Tu and Tianzhen grow closer. Now, Tu, her classmates, and their professors may start pursuing their aspirations. Young Babylon. Lu Hao, a brazen individual who only knows the working class life he was born into, grudgingly begins to travel the route he is supposed to. He accepts a job at the town's saccharin plant at the age of 19, feeling pressure to fit in with people around him in 1990s China. He gradually gets used to the bureaucratic industrial routine, making the most of it by developing relationships with his co-workers, making advances at women, and not totally caving into social pressure. As Lu Hao makes his way, a shocking vision of an economically developing China emerges. The rhetoric of a shared objective gives way to a bottom-line system that he perceives as being unconcerned with the happiness of the individual, but thanks to the relationships he develops, Lu decides to fight for the life he wants. Love is panacea. Gu Yunzheng, the youngest neurosurgeon in the nation and a medical prodigy, was born into a family of doctors. He is regarded as the most attractive doctor in the hospital and is handsome and respectable. He was the ideal date in college. The Wang Hongcheng Award for Young Neurosurgeon of the Year is his ultimate objective. While serving on the front lines in Africa, Dr. Gu meets Su Wei-an, a fifth-year EMS dropout who becomes his one true love. She is genetically predisposed to a rare Huntington's illness. Gu Yunzheng will engage in a race against time and destiny in an effort to prevent her from contracting this fatal illness. Angels fall sometimes. The story of Lin Tuo and An Ziqiu, who met at a job fair during their junior year's summer internship, is told in the C-drama Angels Fall Sometimes. They had a love at first sight experience, and after getting to know one another better, they started dating. The two join forces as graduation time draws near as they enroll in college and subsequently begin their respective jobs while still being a couple. When Lin Tuo's career and love life were moving in the right direction, he was unexpectedly stricken with the ALS disease, which took his life. Even though his life was cut short, Lin Tuo got support from his loved one and ZQ, family, and friends as he heroically battled his deadly illness. He also motivated those around Lin Tuo to reevaluate their outlook on life, discover the value of the present, and resolve to put in great effort in order to live each day with hope. Prosecution Elite. An Ni, a prosecutor for the Jiangking Procuratorate, is the protagonist of the crime drama Prosecution Elite. An Ni is given the task of looking into the disappearance of a college student who fell into a lake by Chief Prosecutor Zhu Ailin, Li Haoen. A student and other victims came forward to publicly condemn Jiangxiu Academy's unconventional methods of child management. An Ni delivers compelling evidence in court, causing the academy to be closed down and those responsible for it to be punished. There are still many cases that An Ni begins working on that will cross international boundaries, thus her career as a prosecutor is not over at that point. West Out of the Yumen. The fantasy story centers on Chang Dong, who 2 years ago led a group into the desert. All 18 of Chang Dong's companions were buried in the desert that same night as a fierce wind blew in, leaving no dead bodies behind. Since that day, Chang Dong has vanished in remorse and guilt. Chang Dong decides to go to the desert with Yi Liuxi in order to investigate the accident after she appeared with photographs containing clues about it. Yi Liuxi had no memory of her past. Thanks for watching. Please like, subscribe and share.